They thought their lies would bury me, but the truth always finds a way to surface. My name is Sophie Harper, 29, and this nightmare kicked off when I was 24, living in a tight-knit coastal village just outside Galway, Ireland, a place where gossip spreads faster than a storm rolling in off the Atlantic. I'm Irish through and through, raised in a community where family and loyalty are the bedrock, and secrets don't stay buried long. My cousin Liam and I were thick as thieves growing up. We shared a caravan on family camping trips every summer, swapped ghost stories by the fire, and dreamed up grand plans under the stars. Our parents, born and bred Galwegians, kept us close. Sunday roasts, St. Patrick's Day parades, the whole lot. Liam was set to marry Fiona, a girl who grew up just 2 streets over from us. Her family moved into the neighborhood when she was 9 and I was 11, and our families clicked instantly, like they'd been stitched together by fate. Fiona's parents minded Liam and me when our folks worked late at the pub or the fishery, and every summer we'd have raucous joint barbecues in their backyard, complete with trad music and too much Guinness. Fiona was like my little sister. She'd pester me for advice about boys in secondary school. I'd help her with her maths homework. We were both hopeless, laughing our way through it. And I even taught her to drive my battered old Ford Fiesta. Rest in peace, that clutch. When Liam and Fiona started dating at uni, everyone was over the moon. They'd been circling each other since their teens, and when they finally got together in their second year, the whole family was like, about bloody time. Granny even shed a tear when they announced their engagement. Fast forward to the wedding day, June 22nd, 2018, at a charming seaside venue just outside town. Not too posh, but a step up from my brother Declan's chaotic marquee wedding the year before. Sorry, mate, but those portable loos were a disaster. I was one of Liam's groom's party, alongside his best man, Rory, his uni mate, and a few other lads. The morning was grand. Helping set up tables, pinning on my groomsmaid Rose, took 4 goes to get it straight, and directing guests. I was guiding an elderly couple to the loose. They'd asked me 3 times, bless them, when all hell broke loose. A commotion erupted behind me, and before I could turn, bam, someone clocked me so hard I saw stars, proper cartoon style. I'd always thought that was just a saying, but no, actual bloody stars. It was Liam, charging in like a bull, Rory and a couple of mates trailing him. His face was a mess of rage and betrayal, eyes wild. He didn't stop at one punch. It was like he'd gone feral, swinging like I'd stolen his soul. I'm no pushover. 5'7", grew up playing Kamagi, but Liam's a fisherman, built like a brick wall, and he was wrecking me. He's roaring, "How could you do this? And Elle trusted you," while I'm just trying to shield my face and figure out what's happening. Rory and the lads finally dragged him off. My dress is ruined, blood everywhere. Good luck getting that out of silk. My nose is throbbing, one eye's swelling shut, and I'm fairly sure I'm concussed. The elderly couple I was helping are frozen, the woman in tears. I still feel rotten for ruining their day. The venue manager called an ambulance, and someone mentioned guard eye, but I mumbled a no through my split lip. This was Liam. We'd grown up together. I wasn't having him arrested, even if I was clueless about his meltdown. I ended up at a local clinic where the doctor kept asking if I wanted to press charges while checking my nose. Bruised, not broken, though I've got a permanent bump now. They handed me an ice pack so cold it nearly hurt worse than the punches. Then my phone pinged with a text from Dad, "Wedding's off. Get your stuff out of the shed by tonight." Context: I'd moved out years ago but stored some bits at my parents', old diaries, GAA gear, photo albums, the kind of stuff you can't fit in a flat but can't chuck either. That text hit like a gut punch. Something was seriously wrong. I called Dad. Voicemail. Ma'am, same. My sister Awife wouldn't pick up. Only Declan answered, spitting, "How could you betray us like that?" before hanging up. I'm in the clinic, ice pack on my face, looking like I've gone 10 rounds with a boxer, and my entire family's ghosting me. The nurse kept shooting me pitying looks, probably thinking I'd started a brawl at noon in a fancy dress. I drove to my parents' house, half blind with one eye swollen, swiveling my head like a paranoid owl to check traffic. Their house, the same old cottage I grew up in, with its peeling green paint Mam's been moaning about for years, had Awife's hatchback, Declan's van, and my parents' cars in the drive. Grand, the whole clan's here for the ambush. I let myself in through the shed, still had my key, and walked into the kitchen. The silence was deafening, like I'd walked into a wake. Mam's at the table, Dad's by the kettle, Awifa's perched on the counter like she's still 15, and Declan's blocking the fridge. Mam gasps, proper dramatic, "Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what did Liam do to your face?" Then in the same breath, "But how could you, Sophie? How could you do this to us?" The whiplash from concern to accusation made my head spin worse than the punches. That's when they dropped the bomb. Apparently, I'd been having a torrid affair with Fiona. Yes, Fiona, the girl who teased me about my braces in school, who I helped pick out a gift for her first boyfriend, who called me her big sis in her uni speech. They claimed we'd been sneaking around for months. I laughed. Couldn't help it, though it stung like hell with my busted lip. It was absurd. Declan, who was my bloody maid of honor at my own wedding before my divorce, long story, not relevant, grabs a bin bag from behind the couch and tosses it at my feet. "Take your shite and go," he says, like he's in some gangster flick. The bag had half my stuff from the shed, my old hurling stick, but not my school photos or uni degree. Cheers, Declan. I tried explaining, begging for proof, asking where this madness came from. Dad just shook his head, muttering, "We trusted you." And how could you hurt Liam? Mam wouldn't meet my eyes. Aoife, who never shuts up, was silent as a grave. I asked what evidence they had. "We just know," they said. That's it. No texts, no photos. Nothing but family photos from years of barbecues and Christmases. These were the people who raised me, who taught me to own up to my mistakes, who grounded me for a month in 5th year for skipping class. Aoife, who I'd counseled through every breakup. Declan, who I'd helped move flats 4 times because he's too stingy for a removal van. They all decided I was guilty. No questions asked. I tried ringing Fiona, voicemail. Texted her. Nothing. Called her parents' landline. Yes, they still have one. Her dad, Mr. O'Connell, said he'd call the Gardaí if I contacted them again. Real love thy neighbor vibes there, Mr. O. I left my parents in a fog, didn't even take the bin bag, just drove. Ended up at O'Malley's, the local pub where I'd been doing quiz nights every Tuesday for years. The barman, Seamus, takes one look at my face and pours me a Jameson. Basic, I know. Then Liam's uni mate walks in, spots me, and suddenly Seamus is asking me to leave. Apparently, I'm persona non grata now. Brilliant. Back at my flat, I tried Fiona again. Nothing. My phone's blowing up with texts from cousins, aunts, even old schoolmates. Everyone's got a theory. Suddenly, every time Fiona and I hung out was suspicious. That time I helped her move flats after uni, clearly a cover for an affair. Never mind her boyfriend at the time was there too. I turned my phone off, sat in my dark flat with a bag of frozen peas on my face. The clinic ice pack had melted, trying to process how my life imploded in 6 hours. I called in sick to work Monday. How do you tell your boss your face looks like a punching bag because your cousin thinks you're sleeping with his fiancée? Not a chat I fancied. The next few weeks were hell. You don't realize how woven your life is with family until they cut you out. I tried the gym. Liam's mate Sian's there, now apparently the manager, and my membership's under review. The local cafe? The barista's Fiona's cousin's friend. The butcher goes to mass with Liam's parents. Even my dentist canceled my appointment. His daughter's in Liam's GAA club or some nonsense. Work was a laugh, too. I tried keeping it vague, but nosy Nora from HR overheard, and by lunch the whole office knew. Got hauled into a meeting because someone, cheers Nora, was concerned about my conduct. I had to explain to a 22-year-old HR kid that no, I wasn't shagging my cousin's fiancé, while he stared at me like I was a soap opera villain. After a week, I finally got Fiona on the phone. It was brutal, screaming, crying. Yes, I cried, sue me. She thought I'd ruined her life. I thought she'd ruined mine. But we calmed down, started talking. Her story was worse. Her devout Catholic parents had basically disowned her, threatening to have the priest excommunicate her. Not how it works, Mr. O'Connell. Her ma'am had packed her childhood stuff in bin bags and left them outside. Her job as a graphic designer at a Dublin ad agency was tanking. Her boss, Liam's second cousin, kept sidelining her projects, citing distraction. We texted after that. Calls felt too risky, didn't want more rumors. Neither of us knew where this came from. Everyone just said, it's obvious, or everyone knows. Obvious how? Because we'd been mates since we were kids? I cornered Liam at the petrol station once. He couldn't dodge me mid-pump. His proof? I saw how you looked at her. What? I looked at her like I looked at Awif, because she was family. 2 weeks later, I went back for my shed stuff. Ma'am had boxed it up, no labels, just tossed in. My leaving cert photos mixed with old Christmas tinsel, my uni diploma crumpled with camogie gear. Classy, ma'am. Social media was a circus. I was blocked by everyone. Fiona's sister, who I'd helped with her uni applications, posted a cryptic "Betrayal cuts deep" status that got 300 likes. Old classmates messaged me, saying they always knew I was trouble. I got random calls and texts. Pretty sure Fiona's brother leaked my number in a family WhatsApp. I had to change it after being called everything from a homewrecker to worse. Fiona and I realized this town was choking us. Everyone had convicted us without evidence. We couldn't even meet to talk. People would assume it proved the affair. Proving you didn't do something is impossible. And to them, our lack of proof was guilt. After 2 months of living like a recluse, delivery drivers giving me side-eye thanks to local gossip, I'd had enough. I applied for a transfer at work. My company had an office in Edinburgh, Scotland. My boss, bless him, approved it, probably to dodge the office drama. Fiona and I had one last call. We decided to cut contact for safety. She chose Toronto. I picked Edinburgh. We stayed lightly connected on Instagram, unfollowing everywhere else to avoid screenshots sparking more lies. Edinburgh was a shock. Try explaining to flatmates why you're moving countries at 24 with just a suitcase. My first place was a tiny Leith flat, overpriced but mine. No one knew my story, and that freedom was priceless. New number, new email. My old one got spammed with junk signups. Mature lads. I even ditched my PlayStation account after Liam's mates sent hate via game chats. Work was a lifeline. Nobody pried into my past. I said I wanted a fresh start, which wasn't a lie. I joined a new gym, found a pub, the Thistle, with Wednesday quiz nights. Not like O'Malley's, but the staff didn't treat me like a leper, so that was a win. I made mates, started breathing again. Then came the work barbecue in summer 2020. A crisp Edinburgh day with no rain, rare. My colleague Jamie hosted it at his place in Morningside. I nearly skipped it, still wary of crowds, but Jamie had helped me navigate the tram system when I arrived, so I went. That's where I met Callum, a friend of Jamie's wife from her book club. No movie-style sparks, just me nattering to Jamie's terrier about proper rugby tackle form. Cringe. Callum overheard, laughed, and we got talking. He was warm, didn't do that Scottish reserve thing. We chatted for hours on Jamie's patio about music, Edinburgh's hills, and his love for history podcasts. We started dating soon after. On our third date, I spilled everything. The wedding, the lies, the family fallout. I braced for him to bolt. Instead, he listened, asked thoughtful questions, then said, "That's rough. Fancy a chippy?" Perfect response. Weirdly, Callum followed Fiona on Instagram after I mentioned her. They bonded over a true crime podcast, Case File, and joined a virtual book club with other fans, doing Zoom calls with wine and crisps. Fiona's life improved too. She met Ryan in Toronto, a graphic designer who's apparently useless without a sketchpad. Callum's words. He's solid, treats her right, doesn't jump to wild conclusions. It felt like maybe this all happened for a reason. I still missed Ma'am Soda Bread and wondered about my nieces and nephews, but I'd built something real. Friends who trusted me, a boyfriend who listened, a life I owned. Edinburgh Sophie was better than Galway Sophie. Galway Sophie tiptoed around family drama, always pleasing others. Edinburgh Sophie lived, worked, hiked Arthur's Seat, tried new pubs with Callum, didn't look over her shoulder. Fiona told me her parents still slag me off at church, calling me a serpent in the garden. Nice 5 years on, still their villain. Healthy, Mr. and Mrs. O'Connell. I was thriving, decent job, great boyfriend, even took up baking. My scones are passable, bread's a disaster. Then last month, the past roared back like a bad pint. It was a Tuesday. Callum works from home since his firm went remote post-COVID. He usually grabs lunch at a chip shop nearby, best fish supper in Leith. That day, he comes back to a note on our flat door. Not a delivery slip or a flyer for gutter cleaning. We're in a third-floor flat, good luck. Just plain paper. We need to talk. Back tonight. No name, no number. My name's on the buzzer. Callum's old place is a rental, so he's not on the lease. He calls me at work, panicking, which is rare since he's Mr. Calm. I leave early. At home, Callum's locked every door and has his old hurling stick out. He played in school and still has a wicked swing. We go to the cages sometimes. He wallops me every time. Seeing him spooked, gripping that stick, hit hard. We stayed up late, Callum baking shortbread, his stress outlet, while we half-watched some Netflix rubbish. No one came. Same the next 2 nights. We thought it was a prank or wrong address. Then Friday, 9 p. Mem. We're eating takeaway when there's a knock. I check the peephole. My stomach drops. It's Liam, looking like he slept in his clothes, unshaven, swaying like he's had a few or hasn't slept. Callum grabs his stick. I say it's fine, but keep the chain on when I open the door. That chain wouldn't stop Liam if he went berserk again, but it's something. The chat went like this. Liam, can I come in? Me, not a chance. Liam, please, Sophie, just to talk. Me, last time you talked, I needed a doctor. Liam, eyes down, yeah, about that. I'm sorry. Me, apology noted, bye. I start closing the door. Liam, wait. I know the truth now. Me, great tale, still not letting you in. Liam, I need to apologize to Fiona too. Can you give me her number? Me, laughing despite the split lip memory, that's not happening. Liam, I'll want to fix this. Me, 5 years of silence, and now you show up expecting what? He kept pleading, but I was done. I said I'd tell Fiona he reached out, and she could decide. Shut the door. He shouted through it to unblock Ma'am. She wanted to talk. Back in the lounge, Callum's still clutching his stick like he's ready for a match. I called Fiona. She was as rattled as me, adamant I not give Liam her details. It shook me more than I expected. Couldn't sleep, kept picturing Liam, not the raging bull from 5 years ago, but a broken man. Callum was a rock, usually a daft joker who dances while washing dishes, but he went full protector mode, installing a video doorbell the next day, landlord be damned, and working from a cafe instead of home. He even called his sister, a solicitor in Glasgow, about restraining orders, just in case. I waited days before unblocking Ma'am's number. Sent a text. Heard you want to talk. After 5 years, they didn't get to waltz back in. Ma'am texted, not called, sensed I wasn't ready for her voice. Her first message, we want you home. Me, LM home. Ma'am, you know what I mean. We're sorry and want you back. Me, what changed? Ma'am, we know the truth now. Me, took 5 years. Grand. I was snarky. Can you blame me? After some back and forth, she spilled it. 2 years after the wedding flop, Liam married Ciara, a girl from his GAA club. She was at Fiona's wedding, a quiet bridesmaid I barely noticed. Their marriage was a shambles. Fights, mistrust, the lot. 6 months ago, during a row, Ciara blurted, I didn't wreck Fiona's life just to hear you bang on about her. Yep, Ciara fabricated the affair. She fancied Liam, saw his bond with Fiona, and decided to torch it. She fed Liam lies about me and Fiona sneaking around, made up meetings, fake texts. When pushed for proof, she had nothing because it was fiction. And the kicker? When Liam told the family, they swallowed it whole. Their reasoning? Liam wouldn't tank his wedding without being certain. Certainty apparently meant trusting some GAA mate over people you've known forever. Not one person asked me or Fiona for our side. Not one demanded evidence. They just decided we were guilty. Worse, Ciara had form. Rory later recalled she'd accused a teammate of stalking when he rejected her. Nobody checked that before Liam turned my face into a punching bag. Fiona's taking it harder. All those churchgoers who treated her like a scarlet woman, her parents who binned her childhood memories, her boss who pushed her out, none bothered to verify. Timeline: June 2018, wedding catastrophe. July 2018, Fiona and I flee. January 2019, Liam dates Ciara. April 2019, they marry. Hasty, much? August 2020, I meet Callum. October 2024, Ciara admits her lies. November 2024, apologies flood in. 5 years of being the family outcast, missing christenings, weddings, birthdays, my nieces and nephews thinking Aunt Sophie's a monster, all because Ciara couldn't handle Liam loving Fiona. Callum's been my anchor. When I told him, he paused, then said, your family's thicker than a bad batch of porridge. First laugh I'd had since the news. Fiona's response? They can shove their sorries where the sun don't shine. Fair play, Fiona. The worst isn't the lie, it's how easily they believed it. People who watched me grow up, who claimed to love me, decided a wild story made more sense than the truth. Ma'am sending essay-length texts about regret and family. Dad tried ringing, blocked. Awayface sending photos of her kids, captioned, they miss their aunt. But you can't undo 5 years of treating someone like dirt. Trust is like a cracked pint glass. Patch it up, but it'll never hold the same. Final chapter. Fiona and I agreed to face them our way. I picked a neutral cafe in Galway, no family ties. Fiona, still in Toronto, joined via Zoom audio only. She couldn't stomach their faces. Everyone was there. Ma'am, Dad, Liam, Ciara, looking like she'd rather be in hell. Fiona's parents, Declan, Aoif, even Rory Tas, probably guilty for not backing me. I set rules. Fiona hears everything, her call to speak. She disconnects, we're done. No touching me, glaring at Liam. No Bible thumping for Fiona's folks. Ciara went first, looking rough. Marriage woes, clearly. Her excuse? She loved Liam and thought Fiona wasn't good enough. That's it. No mix-up, just spite. Liam apologized for the punches, plural, mate. Said he should have checked Ciara's story. No shite, Sherlock. The parents were a spectacle. Ma'am tried hugging me. I dodged. Her face crumpled like I'd slapped her. Maybe remember binning my photos, ma'am. Fiona's dad started with forgiveness in Christ until Fiona unmuted. You left my stuff in the rain. Don't you dare preach at me. Mr. O'Connell, speechless, priceless. Awafe sobbed about her kids missing me. Where was that when you blocked me and slandered me at Mass? Families meant to trust you, give you a chance. They didn't. They chose a lie over us. I told Ciara her jealousy ruined lives. I told Liam his blind trust broke more than his engagement. I told our parents their love was conditional and they'd live with that. Fiona, calm as ice, said, the worst isn't Ciara's lie. It's that you didn't think we deserved the truth. You tossed us out on gossip. That's on you. She hung up. Meeting done. They keep trying. Ma'am's texts are novels of guilt. Dad's giving me space, 5 years late. Fiona's parents want to visit Toronto. Good luck. But here's the shift. Facing them, I saw their regret, their flaws, their humanity. I'd carried their betrayal like a weight, letting it define me. But I'm not Galway Sophie anymore, the girl desperate for their approval. Edinburgh Sophie built a life. Friends, a job I love, Callum. I've got a ring hidden in my desk drawer. I'm proposing to him next month. Fiona's happy with Ryan. We've got people who trust us, lives we forged. That meeting wasn't closure. It was a mirror. I saw I'd been clinging to a family who didn't know me. Not really. Letting go wasn't weakness. It was freedom. I'm not angry anymore. I'm grateful for the pain that pushed me to grow, for the clarity to choose who matters. Sometimes the family you build is stronger than the one you're born into. Sometimes the best way to heal is to stop trying to fix what's broken and start living for what's whole.